All righty. Good night. Good evening. Do you say good night whenever there's a is that a introduction? You know, like people say good evening. I never heard someone go good night because that's usually the ending of something. You know what I mean?
And it all depends on where you're at.
I don't think that's I don't think you're right on that.
What if you're what if you're somebody who works night shift? Have a good night.
I would say good
No, but I mean whenever you greet somebody for the first time of that day, do you say good night or do you say good evening?
I think night.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. That sounds.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Like the three people that are listening right now.
I don't even know what time it is. So.
It is. I will tell you. It is 9:32 p.m. on Monday, January 23rd.
We are in Eastern Standard Time.
Can you hand me? There's another beer over there that's opened.
I got it.
And then can you hand me one of those closed ones as well? Because I will be needing
Jesus,
that.
man.
Shut up.
You need and this is for the gun listeners. Real quick before we give you the introduction and stuff, Mike needs. If you ever seen like those clips or the double mags for ARs that they flip around, you need that only in a beer can,
The
like
quick
two
mags.
cans connected. So, good evening. I'll just say that. Welcome to the show. This is called The Attic. This is what happens when you have too much time on your hands and too much beer to drink.
It's pretty much the main premise. There's just three of us, and we're drinking in an attic.
Three average guys. Tonight we have three average beers.
Yeah.
Below
Who knows?
average.
Who knows what we'll end up having? My name is Adam Ernst. Some of you might have heard of me before. That was terrible English.
Might have heard.
And yeah, some of you might know me. Some of you might not know me.
My name is Brandon. You don't know me.
Mike, you definitely don't know me. That's for sure.
I know who you are.
All right. Well, that's why we're in a room together.
Some people may or may not know anyone.
That's true. Imagine going through life not knowing anybody.
How is that possible?
Like you were, like the Truman Show. Like if you escaped from the Truman Show, everyone that you knew wasn't actually who you knew. You know what I mean?
No.
And it's time for our opening segment. So, first on the list, beer of the week, and we're just kind of pulling this show out of our ass most of the time. I think some weeks the beer of the week is we're all going to have the same beer. We're going to talk about it. And like tonight, our first episode, we all have, two of us have the same beer, and one guy's drinking another beer.
Well, these two are home brews, and which I did not know going down to the refrigerator. So glad I pulled basically two of Avi's home brews out instead of.
So let me ask you, because I've never seen you drink PBR before. Like, this is legitimately the first time, and this is serious, because usually you're a craft beer guy.
Correct. This is not like a hipster act. This is more or less a.
No, I know this is like
This is more or less.
You got coupons for these or something.
Yeah, you dive deep into your bank account. And there's like a section. There's like when you have above a certain amount of money, you only buy craft beer, and when you have below a certain amount of money, you only buy PBR. And then when you don't have any money, you buy Milwaukee's Best Ice.
Okay, so I guess you guys have already figured out what kind of beer we're drinking right now. We have a little bit of PBR, and we have a little bit of Milwaukee's Best Ice. The ice is important because the regular. I feel like the ice is definitely.
The ice adds an entire % of alcohol.
It's 6.9.
No, I mean it's just like it's a step up from the normal stuff.
I'm pretty sure it's cheaper.
There's a special reserve too, isn't there?
I thought there was premium.
Premium, yeah.
Milwaukee's Best
It's
Premium.
the red label.
No, there's definitely like a reserve, something with the word reserve in the title for Milwaukee.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Can we look that up?
No. We do not have that kind of technology at
This is how the show's going to go. I'm going to say something really dumb. I'm going to ask if you can look it up, and he's going to tell me no.
Well, I mean, I think we should definitely explain like the situation we have here, which is pretty much we have a giant empty beer mug full of topics that are folded up, and we're gonna pull a topic out one at a time at random and read that specific article and discuss it. Basically, I mean that's the basis of the show.
That's the basis of the show. You know, we're just gonna keep it improv, keep it light. Keep it light.
Yeah.
You know, just keep it interesting. This is probably not even interesting yet for anybody.
No.
This is the opposite of interesting.
Let's just.
What is interesting is Milwaukee does have special reserve.
Oh,
But it's not made anymore, so.
Oh.
He must have been old school on it. He was drinking it before I was.
No, you know what? A buddy of mine, his dad used to drink it. I bet he's very upset they don't have that anymore. They used to call that like the bottom of the barrel stuff, though. Like that's the leftovers.
That's
stuff.
why it's reserve.
Reserve,
It's the shit laying at the bottom.
Yeah,
of the barrel.
in order for them to pull that off, they have to give it like a special name. Like actually, special has to be in the title.
See, I'm
that's
pretty
how
sure
stupid
it's just.
consumers are.
I'm pretty sure it's just they instead of Milwaukee Special Reserve, because they had Special Reserve Light, Ice, Premium. I'm pretty sure they just changed Special Reserve into Best.
Oh, really?
That's it. So this.
Yeah.
That's what I'm drinking right now.
Right.
Oh, okay.
They just Special Reserve was too long, so they. Just
I wish
Special
beer
Reserve is
like
best.
like how the top of your can says 6.9% alcohol.
Yeah.
I wish it was like every beer was measured in like the legal to drive percentage. Like every beer is 0.08. Because then you're like, oh man, like I can't even. You have two beers, you're like I can't drive a car twice now.
you can taste the alcohol in it. It's like drinking like something like vodka.
That's you know what though. That's the that's the thing for me. I
It's almost like that was
it's
the
a
plan.
lot. That is the plan. Get drunk quicker and cheaper.
Okay, let's go into our first thing here. So, like we mentioned before, we have this big ass beer stein, and we're just gonna pick. We have pieces of paper with our topics wrote down, expertly cut with scissors by Mike.
We should probably mention that there's also a potential special segment that is also
yeah.
in the beer stein.
And we'll let you know if we get there. I'm gonna pick the first one, just because I'm an asshole.
Yeah, agreed.
So here's the first one. Weird news. All right. So whoever picks it, I guess, is gonna have to read it.
You can read the headline.
Okay. Weird news. In weird news today, police looking for man dressed as beer bottle who stole 2 pizzas. Brandon.
Let's see here. So, according to this article, a man in South Wales was caught on camera stealing 2 pizzas while dressed as a beer bottle. The saucy surveillance pic was taken New Year's Day at a Papa John's Pizza in South Wales.
Wales as in?
Not America. The unidentified pizza thief entered a staff-only area, grabbed 2 pies, and left without paying. Luckily, it doesn't look like he took any dough.
Dude, the amount of puns in like news stories, I like those writers are terrible. Seriously.
They're keeping it light.
No, I'm just saying like
They weren't keeping it light because the guy was dressed as a giant Heineken bottle.
I like Heineken, so
with the puns.
That was a great choice of costume.
Oh, but this article goes a little bit further because, like the giant Heineken bottle, that doesn't even make sense. Whoever writes these articles definitely needs fired.
That's what I just said that.
Let me just go through the whole thing. It says, it might seem easy to track down a giant Heineken bottle, but like a beer that's been open for 6 hours, the search has gone flat.
Yep, there was
this
another
is literally
pun.
the most punny article I've ever read.
No, I'm telling you, they're all like that. Just pay attention. Seriously. It could be like about kids dying and there's a pun in there. Like, you guys don't need to do that.
Authorities are hoping to nab the giant Heineken right in the bud by releasing a photo of the thief.
That's 3.
This is just too much. Why do you think...
Did they tell you what was on the pizza? On the pizzas?
Nope.
No? Because I'd be curious, like... If I was gonna steal,
if
pizza,
it was just cheese, I'd be like, fuck it, it's just cheese, Because the toppings, that's where the money's at. Like they didn't get away with anything.
yeah,
They just
it's
stole
like
cheese.
a meat lovers
Cheese
like,
pizza.
Yeah,
I'm like there was
$26.
There was
pizza.
$6 worth of cow on that, dude. Like, it's Wales. I think it's. Why do you think he did it? Was it a dare? You think? Was it a dare?
It could have been a dare.
Why?
Gone
I bet you
wrong.
it was.
could have just been.
My
Dude,
first
that's
question,
like the best thing ever.
Why was he in costume to begin with?
Well, that's what I mean. It has to
It
be
was
like
New Year's Eve, so he could have been at a party.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
this
that's
was New
perfect.
Year's Eve,
Yeah.
So.
Obviously,
Dressed like a Heineken bottle. That
Yeah,
makes
I mean,
sense.
we do have obviously.
we should be private investigators.
We do have a photo here
It was
of
New Year's Eve.
the brazen thief.
Oh, that's
stealing
great.
his pizza.
He looks hungry.
He was obviously hungry. He really needed a pizza.
He also looks
He's
intoxicated.
risking jail time.
Just that facial expression. He looks.
The was that a Heineken bottle?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, he was definitely dressed as a Heineken bottle.
Probably worked at Heineken. That was probably just a PR stunt.
Maybe
Could be.
Heineken and Papa John's going in together.
Guess how you see a big guy dressed as a Heineken bottle, you're like, I'm gonna get some Heineken tonight. Just subconsciously, like you see that story earlier, and you're like, I don't know why I just went.
Well,
I've never had Heineken, by the way.
That's really weird.
Does Papa John's sell beer, like even individually by the bottle?
I mean, that would obviously depend on.
Where they, I mean, I don't know what the alcohol licensing
PA's
is
not
like.
gonna allow that, I'm sure, but
No, but I mean, over there, who knows? I mean, it's close enough to.
yeah, you can see over the bar. You can.
It's right next door to Ireland, so I mean, why not? Right?
I suppose. If anybody from South Wales would happen to be listening to this, dialing 101, which is apparently 911. No, take it back. It's the opposite of 911 in Wales. It's the non-emergency shortcut. Why doesn't America have a non-emergency shortcut?
We do.
What is it?
Isn't it 411?
No, that's information.
Oh, that's information. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a non-emergency. Is it? I feel like it's 11 at the end of something. There's just
Somebody
first
can let
number's
us know
different.
maybe next time, and we'll maybe do some calling.
I think they just tell you to call your local police, or maybe not.
Wonder who.
Except when you call your local police, they don't answer.
That's very
the
true.
non-emergency
Very true.
line, dude. That's like the worst job to have in law enforcement.
The non-emergency line.
That's worse than mall cop.
Yeah.
No offense to anybody that's a mall cop, but seriously, because it's like you become a police dispatcher, you have like a serious responsibility, but like I bet you they go through all the same training, and they're like it's not politically correct to fire everyone nowadays. So they're like, okay, we got to do something with these guys. Yeah, send them a non-emergency line. Let them answer calls about beer bottles, man in
cat's
beer bottle
missing.
suit.
I can't find my cat. It's
Yeah.
missing.
Yeah. What is deemed non-emergency though? Like, what do you call 911 for that they tell you to call the non-emergency number?
Well, that's a good question, and here's a funny point because like the amount of people that call the actual 911 call 911 for like not a serious thing at all. Like I've heard like people lock themselves in their cars and stuff like that. Wonder if you have the exact
lock their keys in their
no,
car.
but wonder if you have like the exact opposite of that when they like a murderer's in their house that just killed one of their family members and they call the non-emergency line.
Yeah.
I mean, the emergency isn't here anymore. It's already gone. The guy's gone. I don't know what else you want me to do.
No, I mean like wonder how that guy like
threat is
the
over.
guy that the responder is gonna be like that was no sir, you should call 911 for that.
Yeah. I didn't want to bother anyone. That's
I just figured I don't know. So that's pretty cool. I mean, that's a if nothing else, that's a dare idea for anybody.
I hope they don't catch the guy
in the States. I feel like that.
That's just my opinion. I think that's a pretty badass.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you because who cares? It's 2 pizzas. Like there's been far more like worse things stolen than pizzas. That like totally, especially if you live. I know we're broadcasting from an undisclosed location right now, but it's called the Attic. It's called the Attic. But like we all grow up in small towns, pretty much the same small town if you really consider it that way, and like the cops make a big deal out about like everything. Like that guy would have been shot
Yeah,
for stealing
that was
two
the
pizzas.
most exciting
Especially
thing they
how
saw
many-
all week.
There's
We would have
so
been talking
many-
about this for years.
Yeah.
This goes into like, you know, like every paper, every article, every
Several times
archive,
for
multiple times. It's
Okay.
brought back up every issue. It's still
Not solved.
still a cold case on the
Yeah, someone has to have. There's a press conference about it. like the mayor gets involved.
Who took these pizzas?
Yeah, no, like he's addressing all the people in the town so they're not scared. Like,
citizens will be able to rest
But-
easy
wait,
tonight
wait.
knowing that their pizzas are safe.
Put your
We had-
DiGiorno's under lock and key.
there's always that mayor that like takes everything too seriously. Like we had a man. Like dramatic pauses in between. We had a man. He stole some pizzas. Just want everyone to know that the okay, right there, I'm already fired.
Yeah, like
I'm already fired.
Law enforcement is working hard.
Law
day and night,
enforcement is working day and night to find these individuals.
Pretty sure you're just talking like President Obama.
That does sound.
Ex-President
I was
Obama.
like wondering why that sounded familiar. That's because that's how he talks. He talks like a mayor that doesn't have anything cool to say.
I suppose.
And this is this next thing's going to who? Here, somebody take
I'll
Mike.
t-
You
I'll
take
take
it.
Yeah,
All right.
hold on, I gotta put you in.
I gotta dispose of these ones. We had a mayor.
We had a mayor.
Doesn't make any sense. All right. PBR. Product
right.
placement.
Next one.
Sue us. No, don't do that because we don't have any money.
You won't get anything.
You'll get your beer back. That's all you get.
Oh, okay. It's hold on. This is the national news. Uber pays $20 million to misled drivers. And I remember, like, I came across this article, and I thought of Avi immediately. That's kind of why I
What?
threw it in there, 'cause-
Oh yeah, great. Giving away his identification.
That already happened, so.
All right.
it's
All right, so
Sorry.
between January and March 2015, ride-sharing service Uber put out ads on Craigslist in the hope of attracting new drivers by offering attractive hourly rates of pay. In Boston, for example, it told potential drivers they would earn over $25 an hour. In truth, fewer than 10% of the drivers in the city actually managed to bring in that amount, according to a lawsuit brought by the U.S. Federal Trade Commission. In separate statements pushed out to the media and posted on its own site, Uber said the potential income of a driver of UberX can make in a year is more than $90,000 in New York City and over $74,000 in San Francisco. FTC said the median amount earned in those cities for drivers working a 40-hour week was significantly less, between $29,000 and $21,000 less, respectively. FTC listed 18 cities across the U.S. where it said Uber was painting a far more lucrative picture than was realistic. Cost, risk, and burden. On Thursday, Uber agreed to pay $20 million to those drivers in order to settle the claim. Quite how it will do that isn't clear yet, but the FTC has ordered the company to work with it to find a way. Yeah, so pretty much Uber still does this, but in a less, blunt force way. They guarantee fair rates, but you have to have rides in the first place. You could be guaranteed $25 an hour, but if you don't have any jobs or nobody calls you for that hour, you don't get paid anything. So, yeah, you could have, I believe Uber's current policy is you have to have at least one ride per hour, and they guarantee you your $25. But if there's 30 Uber drivers and only 15 people who need Ubers in a certain area, nobody's making that money.
I feel like there's like that's a profession. There has to be so many freaking loopholes. PBR. Loopholes. No, seriously. I mean, like, I don't know.
Well,
Wouldn't that be cool though? You just keep picking up your friend.
from
get
the
paid
bar,
for it?
like, yeah.
I mean, in most cases, if you only had to guarantee one route per hour, and you could get your friend to have take him somewhere that is only costs $5, you could pay him the $5 back and gain the other make $20.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, that's I'm kind of confused about that entire situation. Is like
so as long as let me say this so that maybe I'll get it. So if you do at least one ride
you
per
take
hour,
one route per hour.
route per hour, Uber pays you $25
right
per
so
hour.
They guarantee you $25.
Guarantee.
So the fare for each person obviously is going to vary depending on where you are and where they're going.
Now, do you get paid by Uber and you get paid by the person you give the ride to?
No. The person pays Uber directly.
Okay.
So
that's
that
what I was
person may be
confused on.
getting charged $18 for that ride, but you're only receiving a percentage of that $18.
Okay.
Uber takes the rest of the
No,
money.
it makes sense. I mean, that's yeah. No, from a business standpoint, that makes sense. Because that's how else would they make their money?
Right.
That's
But yeah, obviously using like
So
$5
what was the
as an
dilemma
example.
in this article?
They were saying that you could they guaranteed you that you were going to
25.
make $25
And a lot
an
of people
hour.
didn't.
No one did.
Oh,
Select
so
few
they're
drivers.
basically just paying these people what they're owed, what they're due for.
Right.
For that
So they were
guarantee for the
taking,
25.
they'd get their occasional routes,
Grow
not
up.
meet the standards.
dude, you know how many things that people told me? Like, dude, I guarantee that's gonna happen, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
What am I gonna go like? Give me something because you guaranteed me that. Like, no, grow up, dude. Find a new job.
Well, let me ask you: is there any form of a signature, a contract that you sign that states that Uber has to give you?
There has
and
to.
Oh yeah,
guarantee
terms
that
of
for-
service.
Yeah,
Like,
so I mean,
the thing that nobody reads.
I mean, if you're
Yeah,
if you're
that's true.
signing something that says you're gonna get $25 an hour and you don't get it,
Oh,
then
sorry,
I think it's fair that they should have to pay you that.
Right.
I don't see why not.
No, I know. I think it's fair. I'm just being.
Well, yeah, I mean, if somebody
Being
just
an asshole.
guarantees you something like
Yeah,
a
that's what I
word,
meant. Like,
yeah,
that's how it
understandable.
sounds. You know, that's how it sounds. Like,
yeah, it's a guarantee with stipulations. Apparently, the
People are just-
stipulations weren't very well written at the time.
people are just too. I don't know. They complain
Sue
about
crazy?
too much.
Everybody likes to sue because everybody wants more money.
It's the easy way out.
No, it's not even about suing.
You know
Just
how to
people,
work the system.
people just complain about like stuff all the time. I don't know. That doesn't mean anything. I don't know what that means. All right,
I don't know
Brandon.
what anything means.
Brandon gets the next
Yeah.
the next pick from the Stein. That's a wicked Stein, dude. Bigger than my face.
I don't know. How many beers do you think that thing holds?
I think each line's a beer, so...
Is it?
No, each line's 10 ounces.
So each line is
6 lines.
50, 60 ounces.
It's too much
Yeah,
math.
somebody does 60. Go ahead.
That's too much
Nope.
math.
No, I just don't feel like it.
Alrighty. A little bit in entertainment news, I guess.
Oh.
We got Alec Baldwin hosting SNL for the 17th time, which, according to this, is a record amount of hosting. Alec Baldwin, of course, is been in almost every recent SNL episode as he plays President Donald Trump, because he's the only one apparently wants to. I'm not sure. I mean, he has in previous seasons and
I don't
of
like
the
that
such.
guy.
Alec Baldwin or
Nah,
Donald Trump?
No, Alec Baldwin.
Like,
No, I never have.
really?
Not really. I mean, like it's. I don't know. I'm not going off like any information.
It's
Like,
just like one of those people. Just
yeah,
saying.
no, seriously, that's seriously what it is. It's just like I don't like his face.
It's a very punchable face.
Yeah, I know. No, I don't. I recently, and I haven't seen like too many things about him. So like I don't really. When I say I don't like somebody, it's not it's not serious. You know what I mean? I've seen too many things about him where like he's just complaining about something. I just don't like people that complain about stuff. That's all. Especially when you're that well off too. It's like dude, I don't care if someone cut my arm off and threw it in a river.
I'm pretty
Like,
sure
if I had that much money, I'd be like, could buy another arm. You know, like no, but it's funny because I'm pretty sure he's been complaining recently about like all the political stuff, and then he goes and well, let me be more specific. I think he's been complaining a lot. Correct me if I'm wrong. Complaining about Donald Trump a lot. And he plays him in SNL. But I think that's kind of the point. I don't know.
I think at this current moment, it's just more of a typically, I don't want to say all, but typically a celebrity thing. You know, most celebrities are, or at least seem to be, against Donald Trump. And, you know, Donald Trump obviously has had some rocky background into the point where he's at now. Yeah. But, you know.
I love that. I love that. That the like just complaining about something but offering. Like if you're gonna complain about something, at least tell me what the solution should be. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like yeah. I wouldn't, if my brakes went out in my truck, I wouldn't be like, dude. I would go to my mechanic and be like, hate these brakes, hate this company because my brakes went out, and not tell them to fix it. You know what I mean? That's a stupid example, but there has to be a good analogy for that. No, seriously. What were you say?
I agree with that. I think that even like it's gotten to the point where like debating and complaining have become the same thing.
No, you know what?
There's an argument between two people to find a solution.
There's no such thing as a debate, because a debate on national TV or on radio or anything like that anymore. All it is it's an entertainment.
Yeah, it's a media stunt.
It's a device that you use for entertainment. Because like you see like the split screen, like when people are yelling at each other. There's no like the only point of that is to obviously like, you know, this news station leans left, this news station leans right. Okay, well the left news station has three of its own people on there, and they bring in a commentator from the other side. They all yell at that guy, and then whoever's watching that, and I think, you know, this is why like nobody learns anything from the other side, because like the only people that watch the left news station is people on the left wing, and the only people that watch the right news station is people on the right wing. So like the only point I think of like those split screen arguments is so someone watching that's also on the same side as that news station can be like, oh yeah, like yeah, they showed him, you know, I love it. And then like the same thing, vice versa with the right side. Like no one ever like goes out of the box and watches the enemy's show.
I agree. Like I said, I think it's just people yelling at each other, complaining, and not trying to find common ground on the situation.
No, and that's exactly what the debate was supposed to be. It's you know, you bitch at each other until you can go, oh yeah, man, and then shake hands and then you leave. You know, it's I don't know how we got so off topic on that, but no, it's Alec. So back to Alec Baldwin.
That's what it's all about.
No, you know what? Even I was watching a video of, and again, this is probably just an opinion of somebody who made a random YouTube video, but it was like the 10 best SNL skits of all time, and his sweaty balls skit was on there, and I'm like, I don't see it. I don't see it. I think it was way overplayed balls? in the.
I have to disagree. I like the sweaty balls.
No, I agree. I laughed like for the first 11 times, but but after like him saying it like 40 times, I was like, yeah, this isn't funny anymore. You know, it was one of those things where it's like, man,
it's kind of like the Australian Outback guy who's selling deck products. It's like, would you look at this deck?
Yeah.
Would you just look at, you know, I love just
waxing
my deck.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. I don't know if anyone out there has ever seen the when you said look at it, just look at it. You remember that video?
Yeah.
The guy being whatever. The guy was like, just look at it. And if you don't know what we're talking about, just probably literally type in just look at it, like quotation. Just look at it, end quote, on YouTube, and you'll see what we're talking about. But like that was literally like the funniest thing I've ever seen for like 10 seconds of my life. And then he said it one more time, and I was like, no, I'm out. I'm good. I'm out.
Yeah, I loved that video the first time I seen it, but then when everybody starts saying it,
it just kind of gets.
That's another thing too. Whenever people that aren't funny repeat it. And we all three of us, I think we have one person that's
yeah.
No, I mean collect. Wait, do we just go out?
Oh,
No, I mean collectively. Like we can all think of that one person that says something and like, it's like, nah, don't say that.
It's an overkill.
Wait a
Eventually,
second.
it just
Hang
gets
on.
old.
I think my headphones are screwing up.
Are they?
They're stepping on them. That's why.
Oh well, sorry.
Hang on. We're gonna fix this.
They're below my feet.
This is an extremely professional broadcast.
Are we back on? All right, we're back on.
Yeah.
We're back on to ourselves. No, but I mean, like whenever everyone has like somebody to use as an example for somebody. That's what I meant by that. Like if you say just as anything, like if you say trucks, you automatically, like one person always comes to mind, or like anything. Like when I think of alcoholism, I think of Mike.
I mean,
speaking of dude, I wish I was an alcoholic. Like I would love to just show up to random events in like a bathrobe and yell at people. Like I
I'm
sincerely
gonna start wearing a bathrobe
wish that was my life.
everywhere I go.
No, I mean think of the care. Like think how free that must feel. Like physically because you're wearing a bathrobe with nothing underneath, and mentally because you're just so like drunk all the time you don't even care about anything.
I like tight jeans.
That's
you know.
wait. What?
What's wrong with that? They hug.
Better than a bathrobe.
Yeah,
Oh.
I prefer to be, like.
That went really south. Thanks, Mike.
Just pick the next one.
Just pick the next one. That's my turn, I guess. We are drawing from the hat with inside a hat. Actually, we're drawing from a beer stein right now. Here's an idea. Instead of we were like, okay, so the special segment that Brandon was talking about in the beginning of the show is in the beer stein there is a couple pieces of paper that say hat on them, and what that means is we literally all just compiled a bunch of random things together on pieces of paper that we're going to draw from a hat and just talk about.
They're not like news articles. They're not current events.
No, they could just be
like
anything.
It's just random.
Could be anything.
Random thoughts, and then
here's an
from this point on, they'll be either viewer submitted or suggested items.
Well,
that we'll
I
throw
think
into these.
speaking of viewer submitted, that's what I was just gonna say, because we really weren't sure of a second item that we could use to like put stuff in and draw these pieces of paper out. So maybe someone can come up with an idea, like what would be an interesting thing to. When people put pieces of paper in hats and draw stuff from them.
like maybe not a toilet or.
So this week, maybe it
like
should
that.
change every week just to keep it interesting. Like this week, we have my like Viking caveman hat on. I'll pick the first one. Okay, so here's how this is gonna work. Everyone's gonna pick one. I picked one. You pick one. Brandon's gonna pick one, and we'll just go through them. And see what we get. Okay. So.
Worst vacation spots.
Antarctica.
Why?
Cold.
Transylvania.
Why?
Vampires.
No, actually, that would be a pretty badass one.
Yeah,
No, I mean in
sounds
real
great.
life. But if like you were living inside a movie, that would be terrible.
Yeah, probably. Hold on. Let's go back to Antarctica here. Why is Antarctica? a bad
Antarctica.
thing?
Cold.
No.
I don't like the cold.
Do you know where Antarctica is?
What?
Do you know where Antarctica is?
No, I'm terrible with geography.
Antarctica is the South Pole
Correct.
of the Earth.
North Pole.
No, not north.
All right.
It's the South Pole.
Definitely
Actually, there's a new show out on. You know what? What's interesting about you saying that was I don't know why I just like nerd out on a bunch of random things, but I was like, wonder what one of the most what's the word, uninhabited places on the Earth would be, like some of the most.
Probably
Antarctica.
That was one of them.
Yeah.
Antarctica, obviously, because of its harsh climate. But I got to looking at that, and actually, it's a huge. Oh, you know what? No. What sparked that was I was like, who owns Antarctica? Like, because there was
as a continent or a country or like what? Are we
yeah, I mean, just in general, like who owns that land? Because like. there's a bunch of like little islands and stuff. I feel like just countries just kind of sneak in. Be like,
can you really call those islands? I feel like they're more like icebergs.
No. I mean randomly, like spots throughout the entire globe that like different countries be like, yeah, we just this is ours now. Like even if it's like if there's an island like close to, and I tell you what, honestly, the United States is the worst for that. Like there's like an island that's completely on the other side of the globe from us. It's like
Samoa.
close. It's like close to just randomly. I'm not speaking specifics here, but like just say an island's close to like well, even like Asia. You know, it's like that should obviously be like an Asian, owned by an Asian country. But it's like, nah, that's it's owned by America. Like, who decides that? You know,
Whoever's got the bigger gun.
that's pretty much the world.
Big guns.
That's life.
Speaking of though, Chernobyl.
Chernobyl's actually reverting.
Really?
Yeah, Chernobyl is like the no access zone is slowly reducing.
Yeah, I was actually looking into, for lack of better terms, taking a vacation there. Like I was like, wonder, like, you know, that'd just be a cool spot to visit. But like,
yeah, you're really not allowed to get.
But
too,
no,
too
I
close.
guess the purpose behind that thing was like the worst family vacations. Like, come on, kids, let's go play with radiation. You know, like,
Like Fallout. Like,
I thought of earlier
the
when
only family vacation that you can
we
come
had-
back with more body parts.
Remember, we had talked about this previously before we started the show, and a while ago. Well, yeah, when I said a while ago, like a few hours ago, and remember I said Mogadishu. I'm like, that'd be awesome, like a hotel. Like, yeah, you know, the one thing you got to watch out for in this hotel here is West Nile. You know, like you just have to deal with that. Like that's just another thing. It'd be crazy. Okay, I guess I'll read mine. Things that you say to get out of a traffic ticket.
things that you would say.
Like things.
Things you should say, or things that you.
It could be anything. Things that you think could get you out of a traffic ticket.
Oh man, I can think of some things that I shouldn't say.
Well, that's kind of the point of it, I guess. Just kind of anything.
I mean, like I'm late for work. I don't know. I've never gotten a speeding ticket.
No, like
late for
something-
work doesn't work.
No, that doesn't. No, because then they're like.
There's personal experiences on that one.
Because then they're like, well, because then the officer could tell you, be like, well, I'm at work right now. I wasn't late today, so you're getting a ticket. I would think more along the lines of like a crazy story.
Maybe my fiance's in labor.
See, that
Yeah,
only
but you
works
would need
until
more
you.
proof.
Yeah, that only works until
What kind
the
of proof
police
are you
officer
gonna
gives you a
escort?
escort to the
Yeah.
hospital and tries to go to the delivery room.
I feel like that only happens in movies.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, do you think they would actually, like, local police would give you an escort if you
No.
told them? Yeah, so
No,
that
absolutely
might
not.
work.
No, they'd be lucky if they let you leave within like the next 15 minutes. They'll call for 3 backups of local police officers, and then when the state cop finally shows up, then everybody else disperses, and then state cop then gives you another ticket.
That would be great. Giving you a ticket because you got a ticket.
You obviously did it wrong. Well, might as well give you it twice.
I'm on my way to war.
Well, I've never got pulled over for speeding, so I don't really know. I haven't been in that situation. I think I would
Things
probably...
you can say to get out of a traffic ticket. I mean, it doesn't have to be speeding. It could be like just
yeah,
a red
I mean,
light,
blowing
stop
through a red
sign.
light or...
Sir, why isn't your vehicle inspected? I didn't know you had to.
Let's ask Mike about that question.
I don't even think we need to go that far. I think, what if you played like the blatantly, we'll go not necessarily uneducated, but maybe not with much as common sense as the next person. What if you tried to pull it, you were unaware that was even a thing? I don't believe they teach the fact that you have to get your vehicle inspected in like a driver's education course.
I think it would be like their reaction initially would be to that is that it's your responsibility to know the law and it's mine to enforce it. Like, I would feel like that's what they would say to you. Like, it's
probably
just as an adult, that's probably what, you need to know these things. As, operating a vehicle, you have to have a license, you have to have a registration, you have to have insurance.
I'd tell them that it's like the movie Speed, where there's. Well, I guess that would work because he'd already blow up.
Are we on a bus?
No, just like
cruise ship.
They did. I was gonna say they did one with a cruise ship as well.
Did they seriously?
Yeah,
Speed 2.
Yeah, it was.
Was that? I didn't see that one. I didn't. I didn't really see the first one.
Throttle down, just
No, but was it the same concept on Speed 2?
Yeah.
Like if the cruise ship goes below a certain speed, it blows up.
Yeah, it was just nautical miles.
I feel like that's so much. That's like so much easier avoidable than a bus, though. Like on city streets, because like I'm like, oh, I'll just turn right to like open water, and I never have to slow down.
But you got to run out of fuel. See, that's the problem.
Yeah, but I feel like you could definitely get away with that easier than a bus. Shame on them for that stupid idea for a movie.
Always with the sequels.
Most sequels are not better than the original.
We did miles per hour. Now we're gonna do nautical and
miles per hour.
Yeah, and there should have been a plane. That would have been the third one.
Yeah, that would probably have been a touchy subject.
Oh well, maybe.
I feel like you could like buy a fake badge. Like if you were really that planned on, if you really didn't care about getting in trouble that much, you just be like, I'm a cop, and then you just leave. I'm also a cop. Speaking of which, there's this funny story, and I'm not going to mention any names, obviously, but with that phrase, I'm a cop, like someone yells it. My buddy, who's a police officer, and he was on like a drug task force unit in a certain city, and he was like staking out this place, and he was in an unmarked car, and he was in a bad section of town. It was summertime, so he had his window down, middle of the night, and this guy walks up to his window, and he had, I guess, like my buddy, he had all of his gear on that said, whatever, police and stuff on it, on his like his plate carrier or like his vest or whatever. And he's like, I'm surprised he didn't see that right away. But this guy just goes on like giving him a sales pitch about these drugs that he has, and like he has this big coat on, and he opens his coat, and there's like all these like almost like a traveling salesman, like a bunch of stuff. Like, where do you even find a jacket like that? Like it can hold random things. Like, yeah, on this side we got this, and then this side we got this stuff, and this side is buy one get one free, And he said after like 2 minutes, the guy finally realizes who he is. He realizes he's a police officer, and my buddy goes, my buddy steps out of the car, and the guy starts walking away real. First my buddy steps out of the car, and the guy goes, I'm a cop too, and he runs away. he just yells, I'm a cop too, and he walks away, and my buddy's like, hey, come here, hey, hold a minute. He's like, I never did. He's like, I never went after him for that because I wasn't there for that. But that's just funny. I don't know. So hey, it worked there. Not the actual, not how you think it would actually work, but maybe if the cop's busy enough, and you say that you're a cop too, it might work.
Probably not.
This is I don't know why we're even telling people this is such a bad idea.
All right.
Okay, next one.
We're not liable for anything you tell cops.
That's exactly. What do you have, Brandon?
You already read it.
Oh, you read yours? What do you have?
Left behind notes for clues.
Wait, no. Where did you, you cut that one. You cut that one wrong. I remember this one. This was, because I wrote that one. This was, what if Dr. Seuss was a criminal and he left behind, how like in the crime shows where they like take magazine clippings and piece together like clues. Like everything was like green, Sam I am ham. Like they were like dude, I've seen this before. Where did I see this? You know, like there's always a cop that gets really mad when he gets all the clues.
So are we just saying that Dr. Seuss is potentially a serial killer?
No, I'm just saying, what if he was
a serial killer?
There should be a show like that.
You got
blood on the floor. You better check the door. That's my first one.
See, I think that's too easy though. Like it would have to almost correspond to like a Dr. Seuss book, like
I don't know
like
that
the
many
crime. Like they walk, like the detective walks in the house, and it's like, okay, so we got ham and eggs, and they're both green. you get like that. Why is every detective on any police show there ever was? He's from like the deepest part of New York. Yeah, we got 1, 2, 3 fucking lights down the road. We got another green eggs and ham.
We got hops on pops.
Or no, they can't make it that obvious. It's like they don't say it like in the order that Dr. Seuss would be like, yeah, we got ham, we got eggs, they're both green.
You go into a lineup. You got thing number 1, thing number 2, thing number 3.
All right.
Who's up to pick?
I don't remember. I think it's
it's you.
I picked last, so it's you. Yeah, it's Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man noises.
Yeah, why not? Secret Service investigates Madonna and plans to blow up the White House.
Whoa.
That's very current. It's funny.
You have the story?
Yeah, the Secret Service plans to open an investigation into Madonna after she stated during the Women's March on Washington that she has thought about blowing up the White House. Getting a little graphic here. While sporting a black pussy hat, she also said the F word 4 times, causing broadcasters have to apologize since they were airing the broadcast live.
Oh God, who originally aired that?
That's a good question.
Does it say?
No, it just looks like probably
it
was being aired live. So.
Where's that article from? So it was probably it was probably like every news station.
Yeah, anything that was broadcasting straight live.
It was pretty big news.
Yeah. This is
Why
from
couldn't they
AP,
say a
so.
cat? Dr. Seuss was in on this, man. They have a hat that looks like a cat, you know, because she was wearing. I saw the clip, and it was hang on, it was she was wearing a hat that had ears on it like a kitty cat. Like, why couldn't they just say that?
Yeah, like
you know,
that's a good question.
Because whenever you said a black pussy hat,
it makes it more offensive to some people.
I thought too.
That's why
I watched the video. I think yesterday on that, and it was not a non-offensive hat. Like she was wearing a black beanie, but she did say though, she's like, I have thought about blowing up the White House.
That's one thing you don't say.
Yeah, that's
like the same. That should be that. Like, I realize that obviously, like, you can't take it seriously, but like they have to. They have to take. That's like saying bomb on a plane. Like, even if it's way out of context, you just can't say bomb on a plane.
Especially with somebody with that amount of push and pull, in society in general.
Well, I think the way they need to look at that is because it's crazy how much people look up to celebrities. Like they aren't just normal people like that, So like somebody goes, Madonna said blow up the White House. Let's do it. No, but I feel like there might be people out there that actually think that way. That like,
I think there's more than just a few. I think.
When I say a few, I mean like a few million. But no, it's it should be taken seriously. I think to a certain level. Like I think it should be. I love how though, like they went like full commando mode, like on that story though. Mm-hmm, they're like there's probably like a secret room right now where they're planning a takedown of Madonna.
They have like the picture, like she has like the cone bra.
Yeah,
like that's the
this
main
is our
picture
subject. This is Madonna.
5'8" cone bra.
With
most likely not a virgin.
I'm just trying to think of like a song title. That'd be funny. No, it needs to be taken seriously, but it needs to be taken seriously to a certain level. Like I feel like that's going to be very, very easily overdone. Like that whole thing, you know, because it was she said like on the news. I remember seeing the news, the actual live broadcast, not the actual live broadcast, but like a repeat of it, and you know, she said it kind of like she was like in the middle of a speech, and she's like, yeah, you know, kind of like a joke, like they say at like a press conference or something like that. And I thought about blowing up the White House too. Like she didn't say like, let's blow up the, you know,
Yeah.
you know, she didn't like, she wasn't slamming her fist down on the podium. I wouldn't be too worried about it.
That's just what she wants you to think.
That could be too. I don't know.
Yeah, I just to put that out there in general, like for her to say that is. When you're a person of that power, you know.
No, but I mean, like when you say that though, when you say that though, and you really think about it, like how would you even pull that off as Madonna? Like,
yeah,
there's snipers on the roof 24/7. Like I'm just gonna, you know, dance my way into the front lawn of the White House and plant a bomb. Like that's not gonna happen.
Have you ever felt lucky?
Nope.
No, me either.
Oh yeah, actually a couple times.
Yeah. We had an Oregon man who found a year-old $1 million winning lottery ticket while cleaning his house.
Was it still valid?
It was due to expire in just 8 days.
Wow.
So this guy did get his $1 million. Obviously, not a full million.
Wonder if there's any like
taxes,
wonder if I've always wondered if millionaires that like play. What if there's millionaires that play the lottery that like buy $1 million worth of tickets at a time? You know what I mean? Like if you have $40 billion, like $1 million would like be like $20 ticket to one of us. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna play $1 million on tonight's Cash 5.
I would shit my pants if I found a $1 million winning ticket in my house while I was cleaning.
I would think there's too many like social experiments on YouTube nowadays for that to be real. Like I'd be the next 8 days I'd be looking for the camera, and then the ticket would expire.
Somebody's playing a joke on you.
Yeah. You spend 8 days looking for the camera. You spend like the next 10 days contemplating suicide because you know you're being pranked, and and then it all comes down. You finally decide that it's safe to go outside, and you get hit by a bus.
Yeah. Luck run out.
That's like the next script for if there's ever another season behind Lost. That was a great show, by the way. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Never seen it. I
show.
just assumed it was like Gilligan's Island.
You've seriously never seen it?
No.
Oh wow. I can't even give it away because I don't even know how to explain it. Like that's
Gilligan's Island. Lost? That's what I assumed.
No, but
Gilligan's Island with a plane.
I talked to a friend of mine about it before, and they were talking about some kind of fucking dragon monster or something like towards the.
No, okay.
Like,
here's a good way to explain it. The writers were on acid.
After a bad LSD trip, like
that was a starting role for a lot of the actors on that, actresses and actors on that show. I think it was. I can't even explain it. You just need to watch it. And what was I gonna say? Oh, wonder if the person who actually bought that lottery ticket though, wonder if like he knows that was his lottery ticket. I feel like that would be more traumatizing than the guy finding the winning ticket, because there has been like people that have had heart attacks from like scratching off and seeing $1 million that they've won.
Really?
Oh yeah. There's been people that had like went into like cardiac arrest right there.
Right then and there.
But no, like wonder if the guy that like I don't know, the guy that like he's like, I know I scratched that ticket off.
Well, I think it was more or less the situation, like the way I look at it is that he probably bought the ticket and then got home and just didn't scratch it and kind of threw it somewhere and then found it.
Well, think of how much this happens, because like when, you like everybody thinks that, and for the most part they are, but like it seems like every lottery, like every scratch off ticket is the same. But I guess if it was $1 million ticket, it was probably like a one that you play.
Yeah, it was the Mega Millions.
Probably wasn't a scratch off. I love that too. Like if you buy a scratch off, it says, do you ever notice how all the tickets say like top 10 prizes of $500,000. But what I've gathered from that is that you would actually have to like literally win each thing that you scratched off for it to equal that much money.
Absolutely.
Like it's not $500,000 in one game on that ticket. You know what I mean? So it's there's tons of people I think out there that probably play lottery tickets wrong because no one reads directions anymore.
Yeah, it'd be interesting how much money is unclaimed, like even on a state level in lottery winnings.
Yeah,
it just goes
just because people
potentially back into the system. I say potentially loosely.
Why do you think that is, though? Do you think it's for that reason that people are buying tickets and like throwing them somewhere and just not scratching them?
Yeah, or even just we'll talk minuscule money. You win $1 on a lottery ticket. Yeah, you think about going to cash it in, but you don't really. It's $1. Like unless it's just an extreme convenience that you cash that $1 ticket back in. But I've personally had plenty of tickets that go scratch off tickets that have expired when trying to redeem, or just you keep leaving them there, and then all of a sudden it's like and then you look at them like and you just throw them in the trash.
I just found a $10 winner in my truck when I was cleaning it out, and took it to the gas station to cash it in, and they were like, "Yeah, this was cashed. It says here in West Virginia," and I was like, "I don't remember the last time I was in West Virginia, so I have no idea how the ticket was scratched off and cashed in West Virginia, but it wasn't expired, so." Just this weird floating ticket in my truck that somebody possibly stole my truck and drove to West Virginia.
It was me. I did it.
He wants his $10.
I just wanted my $10.
He wants his.
Yeah.
So you wasted like $100 in gas, or?
Okay. Who picks next? Is that me?
Yeah. Paper flicking noises.
It was totally unnecessary.
The flutter.
Who wrote this one? German man comes home. Brick wall built in front of door.
Oh yeah.
What is this? Find the.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
No, but I guess so. Shut up.
I'd love to let you know what this is about, but I can't.
What's the matter?
I just can't.
Why?
I'm kidding.
Oh.
Sometimes you just want to bang your head against a brick wall.
Oh, there it is
especially
again.
Yeah.
Seriously. See, now that I said it.
Yep. Especially when one has been mysteriously erected in front of your door. That's the bizarre blockade a man in Germany faced when he came home from work the night shift on Monday morning. The mortar on the bricks was dry enough that the man had to borrow an axe. An axe of all things.
It's a bit strange.
To smash through the wall in order to get to his front door. The wall appears to have been built by pranksters, but police didn't find it funny. It reminded me of the building of the Berlin Wall. Holy shit.
Yeah,
it's a little intense for us.
Quickly.
According to the BBC, that went up pretty quickly, too. Police estimate damage caused by the wall builders to be around $523, according to some website.
The damage. Actually, I think it was... How can that be damaged? Like they gave him...
Hold on. Most of the damage was to the front door, its frame, and the bell.
There was a bell?
Yeah, so like a door bell.
Yeah.
Ring-a-ling.
I wonder if it was electric or like a standard, like a Long John Silver's bell.
What is Germany all of a sudden in the 18th century now?
Yeah, they might be. I don't know. I've never been there.
Just find it interesting. They're claiming that it's potentially someone who was possibly intoxicated as a prank. I mean, I don't typically get drunk and then
build a wall.
Find brick and mortar, have the patience to mix mortar and then carry stuff to a location, build a wall in the middle of the night with no one else noticing. And
yeah, that's a crazy part of it.
You know what I think about?
No one else noticed them building a wall in front of the door.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what I think it is? I think it's one That's a hell of a business card for a Mason. Let's go leave this. Let's go leave this here.
His front foundation's crumbling. He'll understand.
Just
it had to be somebody you knew. Like it had to be. I feel like you just don't. Maybe I guess. I mean, but that's a pretty good prank. Like that's funny.
How do you go about that? Like I feel like you'd have to stake that house out a little bit to understand.
Oh, you'd have to know what his work schedule is, and
dude, that's even.
Yeah, you're borderline creepy at that point.
It's it's a unique prank though. I've never heard that before.
We'll go a little back, and of course, there's plenty of people who don't like him. A comedian, we'll say that comedian loosely, Dane Cook, has the pranks where he's talking about like breaking into a person's house and he leaves something instead of taking. Or
that's interesting because
did he change the batteries? He changed the fucking batteries.
You know how much of a comedian, like a stand-up fan that I am, and I'll just watch random videos on that. And I didn't understand why nobody liked Dane Cook, like all of a sudden. I guess one of the biggest things was that he was supposedly stole jokes from Louis C.K. from Boston. I don't know if that was British, but and then was there another reason why people didn't like Dane Cook? You were a big Dane Cook fan for a while.
And I actually have heard some of his stand-up that I did kind of hear some of his jokes that I've heard from other stand-ups, like that were close.
The thing with that, it's like writing. It's like I feel like comedy stand-up. Writing jokes is probably borderline the same as writing music because like you can't. There's no way in hell that you could come up with something original anymore. Everything is all like it's been done already.
Yeah,
and you just have to do it in a different style or a different way. I mean. So but I feel like also that's good for the people that actually do steal stuff because then it's really hard to prove then, But I don't know. I really there was only a handful of things that I was that I ever thought Dane Cook did that was funny. I think the bit about him doing the car crash thing, like America Loves Car Crashes.
Yeah.
That was a good one. I did like that.
I was in my kitchen. I was in my kitchen when it happened.
And then we came out, and we were
my favorite part about that is
Dave didn't even put shoes on. Like look, he doesn't have any shoes on.
We go in groups. My favorite part about that was the building the bleachers on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Because that's true. Like America does love car crashes. Why do you think we have that expression? Like it's like a car crash. You can't look away. It's true. But
I feel like that goes the same. One of the things that potentially changed news media. For the maybe the good, maybe the worse, but are car chases. The first televised car chase where someone
had to be awesome.
Who had the bright idea? It's like, you know what? We have like this really, really expensive helicopter that costs a lot of money to run. We should just follow this car for as long as we can.
We should chase the car that the police are chasing.
Yeah. And see how far he goes. We're going to be involved with this guy.
It's turned into like a sport.
Yeah.
And he's going left on Lincoln, and
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder what the first one is. I wonder what the. Speaking of that, I know we're getting kind of off topic here, but like, always for some reason, it's always the same guy. Like on the police chase videos, it's that Sheriff John Bunnell or whatever his name. Bunnell, I think his name is John Bunnell, where he like makes everything sound exciting, like they were chasing somebody that wasn't in trouble, like we were just saying, like just at random, like. And he's getting bananas now. Like he makes everything, like he pulls into a grocery store. He's got milk. He's got, something, I don't know. That's stupid.
That prank, it did remind me, I don't know if you've seen the video of it. It was a while back, but they did something similar where there was an office building, and they went in and they plastered over top, like they put a wall and a water fountain and stuff in where their door was to get into their place of work. So like they had the camera set up and all these people are just coming in to go to work with like their briefcases, and there's the door they walk in every day, and they just like come in and they look, and there's a water fountain and a wall, and it was just that for like 20 minutes, and people just walked up and down the hallways for like an hour trying to get to work.
Did anyone try to open the door?
There was no door.
There was no door left. Okay.
Yeah, they put like a wall there, like their door's not there anymore.
I thought maybe they would have made the water fountain into like the doorknob.
You can't get any more real life Sims than that. If you're watching that happen.
But it's kind of a neat idea though, I think, because it shows putting just like that one small change in somebody's world, like it just
makes them walk around like an idiot for half an hour.
Their whole day up. Like,
no, that's a real life Sims. There's no way that's not. I'm just gonna drop a wall here. Just gonna walk around. No, but that's an original prank. You know, that's good. Good for those guys. If you're German and you're listening right now, if that was you, I guess they don't have to be German, but I'm willing to say that they probably are German.
Are we suggesting that all Germans are Masons?
No, I'm just saying that, you know, it'd be really weird for me to like go to the UK and pick a random house. I'm gonna pull this awesome prank.
That's the whole reason I went.
You don't pull pranks when you're in different countries. Like, I haven't traveled abroad that much, but that's just like, that would be really weird. You know, you pull pranks to your somewhere close to home, I think.
Gonna wrap it up with one more story.
All right. Whose choice? Yours?
Is now. I like that. This is that that thing you sent me on Facebook. The what do you call this? This is called memes.
I guess.
I got banned from laser tag today. Apparently, you can't use a knife to save ammo.
Yeah,
that's great.
It just reminded me of paintball, and like how serious we would get with paintball.
I used to in airsoft. I was a big airsoft fan. I think I told you this before, but I used to take like firecrackers that we had left over from 4th of July. And I don't even know. Maybe if someone that I used to play airsoft with is listening right now, they'll be like, "Oh my God, that's who that was." But I used to take these firecrackers. I used to find random stones that were like, you know, heavy enough to like they would, if you threw them, they'd travel a good distance, but not like heavy enough to where if you hit somebody, it would knock them out. But I used to take duct tape and tape these firecrackers too, and I just used to throw them like all over the place.
Did you light them?
Yeah. Yeah, I had to light them.
That's an important fact there that needs to be stated.
Roman candles.
Why did somebody just throw an unlit firecracker at me?
I don't think they, I don't
Ammo
know.
drop?
Should have did like Roman candles in the underbarrel.
That was bottle rockets. We used to do that. Yeah, I had a PV. I remember I had my airsoft guns were pretty sick. I had a just like a standard M4, and I found a PVC pipe that was roughly the size of an M203 grenade launcher when I used to launch bottle rockets out. And it was so lame because they were like the Pennsylvania bottle rockets. You know, the ones that like, you know, they didn't like, they couldn't have possibly harmed anyone.
Speaking of guns, what do we think about concealed carry permits?
Oh,
what about them?
I don't know. Is it a good thing, a bad thing?
I think it's a one thing. If you want to conceal, that's your right to conceal. If you don't want to conceal,
no, but he means overall. You think it's good for the country or no?
What if it could potentially save someone's life?
You already know my thoughts on this.
Oh,
everybody in
pulling,
this.
Okay.
Both of you guys know my thoughts on this.
This is called a segue.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard of that term.
What is that?
Segue? Not the thing that you drive.
No. No. What do you mean?
So we got a story here. We got robber shoots good Samaritan. So man with concealed carry license shoots robber. Unfortunately, didn't have a great final outcome.
Wait, where was this at?
This was in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Man with a concealed carry license shot a robber at a mall in Texas on Sunday. After the robber shot and killed a good Samaritan. The robbery and shooting happened Sunday afternoon inside this large Rolling Oaks mall. Police said 2 men with guns robbed a jewelry store inside the mall. A good Samaritan who tried to intervene was shot and killed. That's when another man with a concealed carry license pulled out his own gun and shot one of the robbers. He was wounded and taken into custody by police. The other robber got away. 3 other people were also wounded by gunfire. 2 additional people were injured in the chaos that followed the shooting. So we had a person who tried to be a hero. It potentially worked. We got one person, which hopefully would lead to the arrest of the other. I mean,
it's honestly, it's enough said. Like right there, it says it. Like you can't make that shit up. Like it just you can't. Like and I feel like, and honestly, we need to address something real quick. And I know you guys are both kind of the same when it comes, the same as me when it comes to this. But I do not, like, especially with all the political stuff going on right now. I think this needs to be obviously part of the first show because we it's not that long after the election and all that stuff. But I personally do not claim a political party. I guess I don't claim anything. Like and that's the thing. I think everyone's always like, you have to claim something. Like, if you're not Republican or if you're not Democrat, then that must mean you're independent. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. No, don't label me. Like I'm not anything.
I agree.
Like I haven't voted yet for anything ever, just because I don't think it matters. But what's interesting in the story though is now that this story is out there, to see how it gets flipped on both sides from the original story, because that always happens whenever it comes to guns. Because
absolutely,
you don't typically hear the stories. You only ever hear like the negative stories about guns and
correct.
Like people that run into somewhere and take out 15 people or whatever, and then
you know what, and I think
you don't hear the stories of somebody who actually saved lives with a gun.
I'm willing to say that if a story is already too good to be, it is already like too.
It already writes itself.
Right. If it's too good already, that the Democratic, the liberal side isn't even going to report it, because there's no way if something isn't, if they don't have a win to spin it in their direction, then they're not going to report it. And I'm not saying that that's how. That they're the only people that are like that. I mean, conservatives do the same thing, obviously, and that's why I don't think there should even be politics.
Yeah, I think you should read from both sides and take from both, either side the right opinions that you like, the right thoughts and the right things that you want from each side, and combine those to your own beliefs.
It's
not just pick a side and then I'm just going to wholeheartedly believe in everything that they say.
Well, here's another interesting thing, because there has been I mean, a shit ton of like this same thing that has happened, where good guy with a gun shoots bad guy with a gun, the day is saved. It's all over. But there's been so many stories like that have been completely unreported, and you wonder why. You know what I mean? I think it's because, like, even if you're anti-gun or not, like, no one loves a good outcome because it's boring. Like, no one wants to hear that. I don't know. I think that it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see what happens from here. Like what everyone's going to say about it, and just because of this situation, I don't think anyone's ever going to really have anything different to say about it. The left is going to say what they want about it. The right's going to say what they want about it, and that's pretty much it. But no, obviously I completely agree with concealed carry. I think it should be nationwide. But I think I agree with things on both sides. I think there should be, obviously mental health checks, because, honestly, dude, I have friends that I was like, no way, I'm not giving you a gun. Like, that I wouldn't want to have guns. Now, like, you're talking about if you're in a position of a gun seller, like a gun store, you don't usually, unless you're in a really small town, you don't know who you're selling a gun to. You do a background check, but a background check only determines if they ever got caught for something, and a background check is not a mental health thing. It's completely legal, But no, I think that that's a perfect example of why, why there needs to be people out there like that. And that's the thing, I think, that everyone takes it to extremes because whenever, whenever the right, whenever conservatives say yeah, I think it should be nationwide, and then I don't know why I did that accent for that, but so the conservatives say, yeah, I think it should be nationwide, and then the liberals are like, so you're saying that everyone should have a gun? It's like, no, that's not what we're saying. No, that's not what we're saying. But there is people on both sides that give their side a bad name, for as far as gun control goes, because there's a lot of conservatives out there that are like gun, that's like all they say. Just guns. Mm-hmm. Everybody have a gun. You have a gun. I have a gun. We have a gun. And so those are the kind of people that the opposing side goes after, because they're the easiest targets in the media. But no, I think it's a perfect example. Because who knows how many more people would have been killed if that guy wouldn't have been stopped. Because the other robber, I remember hearing the initial report on this story. The other robber that got away, and this is how the bystanders got killed, was because he was running the opposite direction of all the action that was going down, and he was firing at random people that were in his way, like just even people that were running and trying to get out of the way. He was just shooting at them, and I think that's the people that ended up dying. That's who that was. Just kind of innocent people that were trying to get the hell out of the way, and they robbed a jewelry store, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, a jewelry store. Is it? Obviously, there's some money there, but
PBR.
If
is it?
It's not interesting with cans.
You look at a jewelry store, you go out and buy a $15,000, gold ring. For some reason, it seems like that $15,000 gold ring, when you try to resell it to somewhere, is only worth about 10% of what you paid for it.
Well, unless you're on some crazy level of black market, and it's how many average thieves like that have access to.
Exactly, that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Those people are taking that to the nearest pawn shop and hoping to get $150 for it.
Yeah, so they could have literally stolen something that was of equal value of what they would get for their jewelry that they just stole from that store, and it just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. But no, I don't. I think there's always gonna be people stealing shit. There's always gonna be crime. It's just a matter of what you do with it. That I don't know. Guns are good.
Beer's good.
Guns. No. That's it, man. That's it. I hate to sound like a machine, but I mean that's stop a bad guy with a gun. You probably also have to have a gun. Wouldn't take my chances with just any weapon.
A really, really long stick. You could poke the gun.
A shoe.
Turn the safety on.
Austin Powers with a shoe.
Yeah.
He throws a shoe.
Honestly.
So what's next? We have. We picking any more, or was that the last segment for tonight?
I think that's a pretty good point to end on. Don't get too pushed into anything else.
Okay. Well, I think tonight's show we are ending with, and I think this is going to be, this is kind of a learning experience for the three of us. This is obviously the first show we've ever done. We are all avid listeners of different podcasts and radio shows, so we thought we would do our own. And I think a good segment, or a good way to end tonight, I was just saying, because we were kind of just looking for a way to end it, and I'm like, why don't we just, why don't we get, like anyone's gonna care, but give each one of us give advice for the week, like an inspirational message. Okay, I'll start. I'll start because I've this has been on my mind. I want to get this off of my mind. My advice to people for the week, because of where we're at, we have a lot of snow, and obviously it makes driving hazardous. And even tonight it snowed pretty bad, and people were just like as soon as the first flake touches the ground, there's all kinds of accidents. But I was gonna say driving in general. Use your turn signal for the love of God, and please, when there's somebody when you're going like literally like 30 miles an hour under the speed limit, like pull over and let the person behind you. They're not tailgating you because they're an asshole. They're tailgating you for a reason. Pull over. Let them pass, for the love of God.
Yeah, slow drivers are just as much as fault as fast drivers.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I was trying to make that point to somebody. I said, because my argument was, I'm like, which didn't make any sense. I'm like, the slow drivers get in the way of the fast drivers. That was like my argument. But no, seriously.
No, you look at it in a situation of a safety standpoint. You're potentially going down a steep grade or through a just bad terrain in general. There is a certain speed, or depending on your vehicle, that you should obtain. If you are forced to drive into conditions, you have to be able to deal with the conditions. If you cannot deal with the conditions, then unfortunately you may not want to drive in those conditions. Obviously, maybe it's unavoidable, but if you are to the point where you are white knuckled and you are just scared for your life and everybody around you, that it would be the best opportunity for you just to pull over, and I don't know if you need to scream for help,
wait it out,
just wait it out, something along those lines, because you going
call the non-emergency line.
You trying to ride your brakes down a steep grade where someone behind you is in a vehicle that is more equipped to handle the conditions, however, would not be equipped to handle the conditions going the speed that you are currently going. It's causing a disaster for everyone, and obviously for yourself, and more for potentially other people. When it really comes down to it, I mean, if the conditions are bad, you need to make that first choice and decide, do I really have to be on this road? If the answer is yes, then, I think your next question should be, if I really have to be on this road and I can't drive on this road, maybe I need to move, and be in a place where doesn't happen.
To me, personally, for me, it was like the whole slow drivers thing was like whenever there's no reason to be going the speed that you're going. Whenever you're on a road, let's say, and this happens the most for some reason, on a road that's 55 miles an hour. We were just talking about that the other day. Mm-hmm. The roads that don't have speed limit signs in this state, I don't know how it works everywhere else, but are technically
45?
The 55? Undesignated stretches of road are
undesignated national roads 55. Are 55.
Okay. So like if you're doing like 35 and a 55, and someone that's doing 55 comes and crests up over a hill and you're doing 35 and you get rear-ended, then you probably shouldn't ask why. That's all I'm saying. It's just like, come on. Like, whenever there's no reason to go that slow. Like, I agree that everyone should, like, go at their... Like, when it comes to pretty much generally everything, everyone should go at their own pace, Beer drinking. Everyone should go at their own pace. It shouldn't be a competition. You shouldn't be flying around. But I think that, to me, the thing that pisses me off the most when people do, you might as well not even be driving if you're going to go 30 miles an hour into the speed limit. I don't know. I feel like this isn't a very good argument, but
there's like a thing of safety here that obviously is more of concern for most people, and nobody will like Adam after this segment, so we might as well.
Yeah, my career's over before it even started.
Look at this guy with his opinions.
My career that already isn't. Mike, what's your weekly advice?
I was honestly gonna go with change your socks, but I actually thought about it for a minute. And
why are you were on a sock kick today for some reason?
I'm on
listen.
My feet sweat like.
See, anyone that's listening, when we picked him up today, we were just kind of hanging out doing random stuff. He's like got special like feet spray. He's got like special socks. He's like complaining about his feet for like an hour.
Yeah, you gotta take your shoes. I didn't take my boots off when I came in here.
He's like, is anyone else's feet sweat?
Yeah.
I'd be scared if they didn't.
No, but I was thinking about it, and I thought probably one of the biggest things that I see just on a day-to-day basis that bothers me is, and it probably goes more or less out to the guys out there, is to be more of a gentleman and to hold the door for ladies, or hold the door for anybody, or
that's honorable.
Help somebody with their groceries, or ask somebody if they need help with something if they're on the side of the road, like anything like that. I don't know how many times I've been broken down or something, and people just blow past you. You know, just
well, yeah. Well, in the defense, the serial killers ruin that shit, man, forever.
Yeah,
you can't stop anymore. Like I agree. Like I even when I pass people that are thumbing, I'm like, man, I should go back and pick them up. But I'm like, man, like I don't want to be in the news tomorrow.
Well, it just reminds me of, I forget where we were.
No, but the holding the door and everything.
Yeah, when we went on our trip,
I was just gonna say
that woman. Yeah,
yeah, it was like
made
she was
her
like,
day, man.
She was like, thank you so much.
Yeah,
I was just standing here. I can't believe to hold the door.
She's like at the counter ordering her food, like telling the cashier about how we held the door.
It was it was something that's on the news. Yeah,
yeah. I think
local man holds door for elderly woman.
I think doing good for other people, try to, even just something as opening a door for somebody and seeing that how that makes them feel, makes you feel better on a day-to-day basis. And that's my advice for people, is to do good things for others, and that'll make you feel good in turn. That's my advice.
That's gay. I would say that. I don't care anymore. I seriously don't even care. Like I don't know. We grew up saying a certain amount of words, that and not even like any bad words. Like they didn't mean what they actually are like supposed to mean. So that's my defense. I don't care.
I just don't care. All right. Well, you were entitled to your opinion.
I don't know. No, I agree with you though. That's a good point. That's a good point. Especially with like, it's weird realizing that you're not like it's not like your generation anymore. That's what I mean. Because like the younger kids coming up, that's what's weird about for me to say that, like the younger kids. But it's true. I'm older than younger kids. I'm not like considered a younger kid anymore. And I'm totally okay with that. Like, I'm a kid, but I'm not a younger kid. Whatever. But no, you don't see it too often anymore. People are too busy like swiping and dabbing.
Pressing but I mean,
swiping and dabbing.
I think it was like kind of an infatuation of mine with the, like in the 50s, was with like men putting jackets over, a puddle for a woman to walk over.
That's never happened in the history of ever. There's no way that's happened.
There's
sure no way that's happened.
It's happened.
I don't even care. It could be a dude.
I feel like today it'd be like ripping her jacket off and throwing it over the puddle for you to walk over.
I mean, I'm not saying you should do that, but that's only a romantic comedy movie thing where they throw the jacket over the puddle. Like, what happened to just walking around the puddle?
That's a good point. It's a great
like,
point.
we have to cross the puddle. I don't care how big it's not an ocean. Like
this kind of conversation there. You could either walk around the puddle or you could walk through the puddle. Well, why the fuck would I walk through the puddle?
No, I mean it's just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Like I'm gonna ruin. Like
It's an example. It's an example.
No, but it's seriously, it's a real thing though. People use that as if they put it. I feel like that's probably the worst thing to take in off a movie, is to think that everything is real. I feel like that since it happens in a movie, it's
all
real. But
Inception.
no, I'm tired of like just fake shit like that. Like just walk around the puddle. Doesn't even need to be a scene in a movie. Just walk around it. Just walk around it. Brandon.
Don't smoke crack.
It's like